Yeah, game number 1 here on Rocky Canyon. Haven't seen this map yet today, although we're just 3 sets in. But we have ZertoN here from the MYI team spawning in as the Holy Roman Empire. Gonna do my best Tim impression and saying spreading their word of their Lord and Savior. Their opponent, Numudan from Sweden, up and coming into the Age of Empires 4 scene. I want to say, I mean, it's pretty new here. Didn't immediately join, but he's spawning in as the Abbasid dynasty.
Yeah, Numudan's a pretty newcomer. I believe it was the end of last year that he sort of popped up a little bit more, especially in tournaments. I remember seeing players talk about this guy a lot. You know, this would be the next Marine Lord, you know, and to be fair to him, you know, he's made it to the top 16 here in this tournament, and we're gonna have to see how far he can go because he's not sitting too low on the board. He's definitely got potential to make it to the top 8. He just needs to get some good wins in over the next couple days because, you know, he's going to be starting off here up against ZertoN. We'll have to see how he does on this one, but we see he's not opening up with the mill on the berries like we saw in the last game with B versus... how have I forgotten? Magic, that's it. B versus Magic, yeah. So he's not going to be opening up with the mill over here on the berries, which, you know, slight variation right there. Means he doesn't have to chop for a lumber camp, so that's going to be nice for him.
Yeah, I do want to highlight again, right, just Numudan, right, it's also, I want to highlight the Elite Classic, the Silver League, which is actually for the people who did not make it into the top 16, but instead made it into the top 32. So, you know, they're not the best of the best, or, well, they are the best of the best for sure, but just...
I would say top 16 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's top 16 and top 32 is still
32,
pretty good, but,
yeah.
you know, it's weird, right? Because in the top 16, you would expect, you know, certain people to actually be there. Anotan, Baltun, Core, GOA, Salami, or now known as Corvinus. You would expect them to be in the top 16, but Numudan really just, you know, knocked all of them out of the park and was able to make it into the top 16.
Yeah, it's really impressive stuff, right? But Age Up's going to be coming through for players. Economic win coming here for Numudan. ZertoN on the other side going to be going for the Ark and Chapel here in between the wood lines and the stone. So it looks like he's going to be going for a second TC, I would expect. I mean, he's gone a little bit further out towards this stone, I think, to get that in the Ark and Chapel radius.
Could potentially be. I mean, I think it's 3 tiles as well, so, you know, my feng shui for the farm layout is kind of ruined, but it's okay. But as you say, right, we did discuss this earlier in the game. Gold has been pulled off for certain, so he's definitely moving over to a second town center. Now it's the playing ball is kind of in Numudan's hand. Where does it go? Does it go 2 town centers? Does it go 3 town centers?
I mean, having a look at the deer packs here, this is definitely a potential TC spot. This one's a little bit further out, on the other hand, though. You know, it's quite exposed. You got to be careful here up against the Holy Roman Empire. You know, last game we saw a Burgrave from the Holy Roman Empire. So, you know, it's something you got to keep in mind. You don't want to expose yourself too much with your TC positions. But Numudan, he is going to be gathering from the stone hit. He's going to be looking to drop down his second TC very shortly, I would expect. We see he's stacking up some nice resources. ZertoN, on the other hand, he's also on the stone. We see that beautiful Ark and Chapel positioning right there. Gets in the berries, he gets in the stone, he gets in both wood lines. So he's got to be feeling pretty happy about this one right here. Unfortunately, you don't have the gold, but that's not the end of the world. You can always grab another prelate if you want to move out to that position.
And it's something more and more people have started to do, just make more prelates, just to get more pocket ecos and more ecos going, right? Especially with the mine work, people experimented it. You then really had to be forced into making prelates to actually boost up your economy. Of course, now that is not the case just now, but we do have some research was completed. Fresh food stuff, fertile food crescents has been finished for Numudan, and now we do have ZertoN moving out to the deer pack. It's super open though.
It is super open. There's not a whole lot of resources over here, apart from the deer. That's pretty much the only thing you get from this. But then you have a look elsewhere. There's not really anywhere else. Maybe you could have gone here, but obviously you're looking for the food with your second TC. And that's why ZertoN is going over here on the deer packs. I mean, here may have been a nice spot.
Yeah.
You know, you got the boar over here as well, but again, it's far away, right?
It's pretty much the same issue, right? At least in this scenario, you're close to your own base. You do have the stone as well. Numudan, not going for the third town center, it seems like.
Yeah, so he's playing the same sort of style B did. It's just going for the 2 TCs with the eco wing. He is going to be putting it here on the deer pack, which unfortunately, you know, you can see here ZertoN has pushed a lot of the deer packs away. So it's a little bit annoying. It's going to be hard for Numudan to gather that up efficiently.
Whoa. Mm-mm.
What? What's happened?
Numudan is going 3 town centers.
Oh, he is? I feel like that... I thought villagers were just, you know, making their way automatically to it, but it seems like this was intentional. So Numudan is going to be going for a third TC. We're going to have to see where he looks to place it, though, because this is a very far out position. And now with ZertoN dropping down double barracks, we see he's got them already rallied out here to this right-hand side of Numudan's base. It's going to be hard for Numudan to get down that third TC on anywhere over on this right-hand side of the map.
Yeah, so it's still a lot of the same idea that Magic had in the last game that we saw. The difference is, of course, the execution orders. You want to get a couple of man-at-arms just to disrupt the Absid Dynasty's eco as much as possible. We'll probably see this third town center on the berry pack?
Seems like it, yeah. Interesting place. I mean, it's not a whole lot of food, but better than nothing, right? I mean, where else exactly do you place it? We see ZertoN, he's already got the men-at-arms on the way. So this is kind of the last resorting place that you can place it.
Yeah, he could potentially have, if you look to place the second town center a little bit different, right? You could have maybe played a little bit more condensed and less condensed and placed them in a little bit different, right? But he opted to take the second town center onto the deer patch, which I have no idea what happened there, but they are very spread out.
Yeah, ZertoN was pushing them away with his scout. Really, really smart. I love when players do this. It just causes so much of a nuisance for players. So really smart there out of ZertoN. But we can see Numudan going to be adding in a camel archer. Just the one for the time being. It's going to be enough to either force ZertoN into going into an archery range. You see ZertoN going to be grabbing his Iron Undermesh upgrade. He's starting to mass up quite a decent amount of men-at-arms. He's up to 5. He's got more in the queue, so I would expect... Yeah, there it is. Archery range is going to get dropped down. Makes sense, right?
You're not supposed to be existing.
You know, I haven't seen a single Holy Roman Empire match in the whole of this tournament
That didn't go
where they
archer
haven't
range, yeah.
gone archer
Yeah.
range. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's super weird to see, but you know, it's how the meta shifts, it's how the game evolves, it's what we love about RTS games in general.
Is it just me, or have we been seeing a lot more archers just in general? Because yesterday I saw elite archers coming out from Marine Lord playing as the Roos. Today we saw elite archers coming out from Demu playing as the Holy Roman Empire. I feel like archers are making a much more of an appearance now in the later stages of the game, not just the feudal age.
I think it more comes down to as well, like players have learned to macro or micro properly as well. So, you know, it's also the fact that like it's not only good against spears, but it also allows you to do damage at a range, which, well, it's the entire point of having a bow.
We see here ZertoN going to be moving in with the men-at-arms. We see Numudan doesn't have the +1 ranged attack yet, so ZertoN, he's going to be feeling pretty happy about moving in here. Not going to be taking quite as much damage as he will be in about 30 seconds time. And we see ZertoN, he's just really pumping up the pressure. Have a look at this. Archers on the way, more men-at-arms. Quite a bit of idle time for the time being.
Idle. So, yeah, this is so... it's rough to say, but this is a lot better than we saw in the previous HRE Abbasid game, right? Now you have the ranged armor. Marching drills has come out as well, right? So these are zoomed up and buffed up man-at-arms that are able to go underneath these town centers and really do a whole lot of damage. 22 villagers this early in the game that has been idle is a whole lot, and these camel archers will just have a little bit of extra problem taking down. And look at that, Numudan is forced off from a tower he was building.
Yeah.
So ZertoN right now in a commanding fashion.
Numudan has a decent number of camel archers. We see it's up to 6, and that +1 ranged attack does come in. And for the time being, ZertoN, he only has the 7 archers here. It's a decent amount, and as a result of that, Numudan is going to be going into double stable as well. He can get through a couple horsemen, then I think he's going to be in a good position to try and dive under this. But ZertoN, have a look at the amount of army that he's got coming through. Constant men-at-arm production, constant archer production. He's even dropping down a stable now, looking to go into some horsemen.
Yeah, he's fully committing to the feudal age, and you know, often we talk about the HRE's castle age and how strong it is with relics. But their feudal is super good as well, just simply because how strong their villagers are. We do see Numudan though, he's moving out with some of those camel archers, trying to pick off some reinforcements that's coming through, but there's just so many from ZertoN that I think the reinforcements itself can just take a straight up battle here.
We just see that these camel archers, you know, it doesn't look that bad, you know, he's only lost the 1, but then you gotta look at it. He's lost 180 food and 60 wood. It's a huge amount. These are not cheap units. And now Numudan, he's going to be able to do some nice kiting here, but ZertoN, he's back on the pressure. He's looking to try and take down this second TC. Going to be picking off some villagers here. Numudan, caught out of position, going to have to move away with 14 villagers all the way down to this very patch.
Yeah, so where is Numudan supposed to run, right? Look at the north side of the map. 0 resources. There's a little patch of wood. That's about it, right? But look at all them guys go, right? It's not idle time.
Textiles.
It doesn't show up, but no textiles, no nothing, no wheelbarrow. So these guys are just slow moving as possible. Man-at-arms chasing them down, and you know, camel archers now numbers from Numudan looking pretty solid, but the archer numbers for ZertoN 23 right now.
Yeah, the archer numbers are huge for ZertoN, and Numudan, he's only up to 5 horsemen. You know, they're starting to build up, but it's not going to be enough to dive this army quite yet. And now ZertoN, he's getting out some horsemen of his own. He's going to be able to patrol the map with those units. Deny Numudan away from all these other resources. And now ZertoN taking a great fight here. Have a look at the camel archers being 2-shot right here.
I mean, yeah, this is super rough, right? It's supposed to be a tanky unit as well, right? Horsemen as well being 2-shot by archers, 3-shot right now, because at least he's able to take some of them down. But look at the north side where Numudan is collecting some of the food. Like,
it's gonna be enough to call GG. Numudan gonna be tapping out to an Age 2 Holy Roman Empire. Not something we see every day.
This one is kind of new to me. I mean, and there we go, right? It's still the same game plan. It's still the same idea that we saw last game, but it's such a different outcome.
I felt like the blacksmith upgrades made a big difference there for ZertoN, especially, you know, when he was moving in with those men-at-arms, was able to cause a lot of idle time, just slow everything down from Numudan.
It was again, right? That is enough to just throw Abbasid off of their game plan, enough that you're just able to take it from there. So Numudan, right? We said it. He's a young. I don't know his age, but he's a newcomer to the Age of Empires series. I don't know how much he played, but ZertoN, I believe, came from Age of Mythology and Age of Empires 3. So, you know, he's been playing this franchise for a long time compared to Numudan.
Next matchup is going to be ZertoN playing on the English up against Numudan on the French. Have a look at that. A classic matchup right there. And we're on the map Wetlands, which I typically favor the French with, just because they can move out all over the map with their, you know, discounted mills, discounted, you know, they love moving out on the map. They love just making use of all of the resources. Whereas the English, they typically like to stay in a condensed sort of fashion. So I think the French are going to be a little bit favored here, to be honest.
I definitely think so. I completely agree with you on that. Just honestly, without a doubt, right? When Wetlands was originally put out as a map, I believe, was it Wetlands? Yeah,
Uh,
it was Wetlands. It was Wetlands.
we,
They tried to play HRE a little bit on it. Um, just like, but the issue as well, right? It's just like you're not able to use all of the resources and vacuum them up, right? We do see Beam doing the adaptation with going for deer as an opening with French, but on the French right now, you can do why not just do fish instead?
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's something the French are so good at. So we'll have to see what ZertoN can look to do here with the English. The English, it's typically a slightly favored matchup for the English. You disagree?
Like the the thing for me, especially about English and French, is one of the matchups I really feel highlights the versatility of the civilizations and how meta changes, right? Because in the start of the game, it was like it's very English favored, and then it started to be more French favored because just figured out how to play knights, and now we kind of just moved over to being English favored. But I feel like we're moving over to French favored again.
Really? That's interesting. I mean, I just remember at launch when everyone used to say, oh, you know, the French are a cavalry civ, the English, they're an archer civ. The French will clearly counter the English. And then we had, it must have been Genesis, where, you know, players were just picking English into French, and English would just obliterate them. But that is when the English, you know, things have changed since launch. Let's say that much. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
not only balance, but also the fact of playstyle, right? We figured out, Malians and Ottomans is completely garbage. They're absolutely um but now they're one of the strongest civs, right? Mali, we can see it on the draft here. Both players banned Malians.
I don't think we've seen a single Malian game this weekend. I think players have just banned it out every single game, and it makes sense. Malians is just, it's too strong. It's still too strong. Maybe we see it. We've still got a couple of sets left after this, after the ZertoN versus Numudan, so it's still a possibility, but yeah, as you say, Malians is crazy.
Yeah, and people figure out how to play Malians now, right? Of course, a little bit of a wrench will be thrown into that when professional scouts will be not changed, but warrior scouts, that's what I'm looking for, will be changed, right? As well as Farimba. So it really throws a wrench into the current game plan that exists for Malians. So we have Corvinus in the last season as well, season 3 to season 4. You really try to experiment and figure out before the season actually started, how do I play this new style? And something like that needs to happen again.
And that's it, right? I feel like the same can be said with the Rus ever since the Kremlin change. It was kind of slow to get introduced, and I think it was really B that showed the power of the Kremlin, because we had the pop with the Kremlin change, and everyone sort of used it, and then people just, like, oh yeah, it's all right. I think the Golden Gate will still be used, and then we started seeing it being introduced more and more, and now, the Kremlin's the only landmark that we pretty much see in H2 from the Rus.
I'm trying to think when I saw last the Golden Gate. I think it was when I was playing on one of those Smurf accounts.
Archipelago. That's like the only time you'd use it.
Oh. Merlin, please no.
Archipelago is underrated, I'm telling you. People are missing out on that map, I'm telling you. We need an Archipelago only tournament. No. That's what we need.
But yeah, so again, right, Golden Gate just fallen out of favor, even on water maps, right? Baltic, you just go with the Kremlin, gives you more wood that you then can use for other things. But Kremlin, it's not the discussion we are having. ZertoN spawning in on the north side here as the English, already opening up with that little mill onto the 4-line fish, making sure he sucks those fish very quickly up. And their opponent is going to be Numudan as the French, doing the same
Oh, he's all the way down to the
Okay,
south
that's
here.
I did not see that. Doing the same thing here, just vacuuming up fish.
He's moved out very far for this, and I feel like he's got a little bit unfortunate with the shoreline fish spawn. You know, he's going to have to move quite a bit of a distance there, whereas, you know, ZertoN, he's got 2 shoreline fish right next to his mill. But obviously, you know, Numudan over here, he's playing as the French, so if he so wishes to, he can... actually, I don't think you can put a mill down here. I was going to say, you know, you can always build another mill this side, but I don't think that's going to be possible there. But, you know, you can move out towards this side. You know, there's fish everywhere. And for the French, it's super easy to just drop down another mill. So it's not too much of an issue for them.
Yeah, so another thing to really point out as well, right? French, they have cheaper mills, so it's only 25 wood instead of the English is 50. So it really does help out. And if you could quickly just click on the shoreline fish that is being gathered by all of the villagers, look at how quickly those numbers just go down. It's 0.9 gathering speed.
Yeah, it's really, really nice for them, right? And surprisingly, we don't have any upgrades coming through for either player. This is something that we saw B look to do. He looked to grab wheelbarrow very early on with the French. But Numudan not looking to do that. You know, I like grabbing wheelbarrow early in this sort of position, right? Because you're moving all over the map. So getting wheelbarrow as quickly as possible is quite important, right? And especially for the French when it's cheaper. It's only 105 gold, 35 wood. So it's a really must-have upgrade. So maybe Numudan looks to grab it in transition. As we see, he's still heavily gathering here on the gold, despite having enough for the age up.
Yeah, and another challenge of, you know, both with the deer and specifically water battles. Of course, we don't have any of that. But it is somewhat relevant to shoreline fish as well. It really throws you off with the gathering speed, right? Because you're so ingrained with, you know, collecting from sheep, collecting from berries. So you need to, you know, somewhat rebalance your economy. Maybe one less or more gold villager, one plus minus food villagers, and all those timings really change you up, right? And it really shows the what the heck was that sound outside? It really shows the adaptivity of players. So, anyways, French here, I honestly would kind of expect to go into 2 town centers.
Yeah, I think so too. He's got a decent spot for it over here. Maybe here? Then you can pull the boar. You know, you got a pack of 5 deer over here. Only here. Actually, no, they're all 5. They're all packs of 5 here. There's some deer hiding behind the tree. You can all, you know, you got the boar here as well. And there we do see Numudan is going to be grabbing himself that wheelbarrow finally.
Yeah, so gets it in transition here, just allows himself to get wheelbarrow, allows himself to get a knight out as well. And one thing I somewhat want to talk about a little bit, what is your thoughts on Abbasid and Delhi on this map, simply because of the extra berries you get?
Well, the thing is, the berries, they're all dotted really far apart. Like, sure, there's a lot of berries, but it's kind of hard to gather them. Delhi, on the other hand, is... No, it's not all about the berries for them, you know? Sacred sites are a big part for the Delhi, which is why I really like the Delhi on this map. We saw it yesterday, and we had some crazy wood spawns. We had a wood spawn that was like this. It was just covering the whole sacred site, and it meant it was really easy for the Delhi to capture the sacred site and just, well, just a teeny little bit. So I would say this is a good map for the Delhi. Abbasid, maybe not so much.
So, you know, speaking of map spawns, right? I'm very thankful stuff has been fixed, right? We don't see deers being stuck inside of wood lines or anything like that anymore. So it really has come a long way, but at the same time, Numudan, a little bit unsure what his plan here. He's not producing any knights right now, so we're just looking to get some more eco upgrades.
He's only got the 1. And as you say, he's grabbing eco upgrades. He's grabbing his double broad axe. That's going to be his first priority. Where's his stone at? His stone's at the back here. Usually by this point, we would see players looking to move out onto...
Whoa, look at the walls coming in here for ZertoN.
Oh, yeah. Have a look at that. Oh, look at this, though.
Oh, hello.
That is a juicer pond, if I've ever seen one.
Do you go a dock on this?
I feel like you can, right? I mean, maybe not. I mean, It's still 3,000 food. So possibly, I mean, it looks like ZertoN's just gonna be walling it up, so probably just gonna be looking to gather it with his villagers. But a dock is definitely a possibility if you find a spawn like that.
And it's a rare case, right? This is not Ancient Spires, which somehow has the same amount of fish on very large ponds. But look at what Numudan is doing here. He's going double archery ranges, getting ready to see if he can do something here. Still producing a couple of knights. Haven't found anything just yet on the map, and neither player still not going for 2 town centers.
Yeah, so both players going to be sticking to the 1 town center. ZertoN, we see he is moving forward now with his longbow. Feels a little bit risky though. I mean, his spears at the moment are all sitting at home. He's trying to, well, yeah, it's insane that he's got 2 over here, but you know, Numudan with 2 knights is going to be able to clean this army up. So he does need to be careful about that.
Yeah, he does need to be careful about it, right? And he does have the superior army numbers for the time being, although the army value is as well there for him. It's not a couple of knights though, but the biggest issue is the fact that ZertoN has a larger mass of longbows than Numudan. Has double archer range, yes, but it doesn't have the numbers just yet. So ZertoN could find a spot here and an opening, literally speaking, through a wood line to see if he can find something to punish.
Numudan's going to be moving out over to this pond. And as you say, ZertoN, he's going to be looking to try and deny that away from him. Numudan at the moment, he's up to almost 3 knights, 5 archers out on the field. ZertoN, he's up to 7 spears. And now it's looking for that second TC.
Yeah, so a delayed second town center, which I honestly don't mind, right? Because you often expect the French to... Oh, need to be careful to hold that one, but you know, you often expect the French to push out and, you know, try to put on some pressure. That has not been the case, and now ZertoN feels in a comfortable enough spot to actually be going for that second town center.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to be retreating back home for the time being. Hasn't found any value with the army. And doesn't want to overcommit, right? Because, you know, the French are going to be training up quite a few knights. We see Numudan's up to 3. Also has 9 archers on the field. And with the English, you've got to be careful because your longbow, they don't have as much movement speed. So you don't want to get caught out of position here. So I love the fact ZertoN's now just going to be retreating back home. Wait for that second TC to get up. Maybe then start to build up a little bit more of a mass. And we do see that he is going to be finishing up that wall. So not going to be taking any risks. But Numudan, he's coming in with the 3 knights. ZertoN needs to be careful. He's going to be moving away from the stone. His army's in position though.
And it's, I mean, you know, English is doing English things. They're just walling themselves up and, you know, just chilling and vibing, turtling. So, no problem there, realistically, right? The second town center here is it's a pretty decent spot. It's going to be under a little bit of pressure, though.
Yeah, this is quite, you know, it's probably not the best place to be placing it when you've got a French army in your base, but we do see their network of castles going to be coming through. Looks like ZertoN will be able to push this one back for the time being. Spearman numbers starting to run a little bit low. He's only down to 5, one of them on half HP right there. ZertoN going to be committing to it. Doesn't have textiles through. Numudan going to be going in for the charge onto the villagers. Spearman needs to get on top of these knights as the first villager looks like it was able to be saved, but Numudan, he's microing down those spears, and now the knights are on top of the longbow. ZertoN, he's out of spears. He's got the one
he's
left.
Out of spears.
Oh, this is terrible.
Sure is Numudan.
The TC.
The TC, will it go up? I mean, it's still hammering away at it. It can't really cancel it anymore, as it's way too late. It's going to run away with the villagers. But now, the issue is Numudan in a commanding lead right now. Has the villager number far, far, far up than ZertoN, because he's lost 6 of them right now. And the second town center just did so much.
And look at this. Numudan's going to be going for a second town center of his own, and he's playing as the French. He's going to be able to just stay way ahead of ZertoN here when it comes to his villager count. ZertoN's finally going to be able to finish up this TC, but at what cost? 6 villagers going down, a huge amount of army as well. It's not looking good here for ZertoN.
Yeah, destruction value somehow still pretty equal, but the largest issue in this fight was ZertoN did not have enough spears to begin with, and he was also fighting quite a lot outside of the networks of castles, which, you know, can really swing a trade very easily. But look at the second town center for Numudan. Oh, it's a pretty good town center spot.
It is a pretty good town center spot. I agree with you on that. You got plenty of wood, and you got the boar here. You know, this is what's really important for him. But ZertoN might be able to do some good damage onto Numudan here. No textiles in for him. Looks like only the one villager goes down. Numudan's got plenty of cavalry out on the field here. 2 horsemen as well as the 2 knights. Archers in a plentiful mass here to be able to push back the spears as well. So Numudan, he's going to be able to get up that TC without losing too much.
I was about to say, I feel like I've seen this one before, but luckily Numudan, they're playing a little bit safer, having, you know, a better position there and having the army as well. And now that boar is going to be pulled over. You can get something. I'm just imagining a high trade house or a hunting cabin in between here.
Oh, yeah. That's something that... This is definitely a map that the Roos like as well. I mean, just the wood lines here are absolutely crazy for them.
Yeah. But now, Numudan, he has made a couple of horsemen, just simply a little bit due to the lack of gold here. I have to see where it goes from here, though. Has the archer numbers, but he's not looking to punish ZertoN just yet. ZertoN as well, right? He's on both players now on 2 town centers, but again, French 2 town centers much stronger.
Yeah, exactly. And Numudan, he's already ahead. You can see he's currently got an 11 villager lead, which is absolutely huge here up against the English. And, you know, ZertoN at the moment, he's just turtling. He's not looking to put on the pressure. Numudan, on the other hand, he's starting to add in more and more army. We see plenty of archers, plenty of knights coming through. His army value, he's up by quite a bit for the time being. And ZertoN, he realizes that he's going to try get up some walls here. May possibly be looking towards an age up as he's, you know, he's going for, you know, quite some hefty walls. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to complete this, though.
Yeah, it's military upgrades is coming through now for Numudan as well. We do have campfires coming through from ZertoN. What?
That's not, I mean, you got some low HP longbow in there, so you know, why not?
It's only like 25 gold, no? So
yeah, I think it's really cheap.
So still, right, knight numbers not the best for Numudan, but I think he's still able to take this trade simply because he has the bigger archer mass. So he's just pushing in now, forcing ZertoN to not complete this wall, so he really needs to focus this one down. I feel like Numudan could actually stick his position here and just punish ZertoN as much as possible.
I think Numudan doesn't want to fight underneath network of castles, so I think he's just prodding in and out, just backing off when ZertoN gets that, you know, little bonus. As we see now, he's going to be charging in once again, trying to get off the charge here with his knights. We see some great damage there onto the longbow. Now when the spears come forward, Numudan going to be focusing them down there with the archers. Network of castles going to be coming back in here for ZertoN, and there we see Numudan just going to be retreating back.
Yeah, so again, right, it's where, again, right, it's the shell that the English has put up themselves, right? Because if you look at the second town center where that certain place, right? If you just quickly have a look there, I don't think there's any more fish. I barely think there's enough deer, and the only thing left is either a boar, a berries, or a farm transition with English. Right? Oh, you don't really want to do. Okay, there's still a lot of food here, but
he's still got some fish available to him. I don't think food's going to be the main issue for him for the time being. But yeah, he will be running out in time. And Numudan, you know, he's got some great map control right now. You know, he's making use of all of the berry patches. He's making use of the boar. So in the long run, he will have the better food economy that we see here. Numudan taking some great shots. Still no textiles in for ZertoN. And as a result of that, loses out on 3 more workers. Not what you want right now when you're down by a hefty amount of villagers already.
yeah, I feel like at some point you know, Numudan had like a 10 villager lead or something just due to those like 7 villager kills or something like that. And now suddenly you have 20 villagers? What? What happened? It's like the French, again, right? 2 town centers super strong. And now we're just moving out, right? Numudan really just trying to go through this wall as much as possible. Going to go castle behind it as well. ZertoN trying his best to scramble to find a castle timing himself, but he's just not able to.
Yeah, both of them macroing towards that age up. ZertoN only a little bit of food away, but we can see here he's just been pushed off of his fish. Seems like he does still have a lot of food available to him on the left-hand side, and he can always look to go into farms. It's not a big issue for the English, but it looks like he's not going to be able to get the age up through quite yet. Now, maybe we see a white tower come through from him? I mean, I feel like you got to go for a King's Palace, though. You need to try and creep back your villager. Yeah, there it is, King's Palace.
Okay.
You need your villager count back up. Numudan, on the other hand, though, he's going up with the Royal Institute, really wanting to rush this one up.
So the reason I'm saying, like, okay, probably White Tower is the fact that you're gonna be dived. Doven, I believe, I blame not a native speaker, but you're gonna have knights under your town centers, and just having that White Tower really helps you out in defending your farm transition that you inevitably have to do regardless. 3 town centers right now feels good, but it doesn't feel that good when you have pseudo-imperial knights diving you.
Yeah, and that's it, right? When Numudan gets through his veterancy upgrades, once he gets through his royal bloodlines, his cancelled saddles, his tier 2 range defense upgrade, these knights aren't going to be that worried about 3 town center fire. Whereas if that was a white tower, then that may be a little bit different. But then again, you need to try and catch up when it comes to the economy, right? It's like, sure, you can hold on with a white tower, but at some point, the French are going to start to get out trebuchets. They're going to start sieging down your white tower. Then what have you got? You've got no answer. But ZertoN, he reaches the castle age now. He instantly queues up his veterancy upgrade for the longbow, as well as the spear. He needs to buy as much time as he possibly can here, but veterancy upgrades come through for Numudan on both the archers and the knights right here. And ZertoN losing out on so many workers here.
This is a beautiful timing. Just the only thing that could have potentially been better is that the tier 2 ranged armor could have come through. It's now going to come through, so these knights are not going to be taking any damage for the time being. Veteran coming through for certain at least, so that's some damage that could be returned. But the issue as well right now is no no crossbows for the time being. But now it's just going to be picked off slowly but surely. Numudan building his military lead further and further. ZertoN having to creep back further and further back into his base, and there's no more map to run to. And game number 2 goes to Numudan.
Wow, brilliant performance there by Numudan. Is able to make this series 1-1, which means we go to the decider match here. Let's have a look at that villager count real quick, and we can see there, Numudan. We can see where the real damage was done.
Yeah, and you can really see, right, the slow crippling building villager lead that Numudan and the French has. Just it's a small tiny gap that just creeps, and then suddenly it's like he tried to build a second town center. It got up. Not much more than that.
Have a look at the resources here. Numudan just far ahead when it comes to every resource right there.
Yeah, and well, again, right, it's the French. It's their ability to move around on the map so easily and suck up those resources. So able to take the lead for now.
Yeah, exactly.
Team number 3 coming up.
Yeah, Rus versus China. Once again, I think this is the exact same matchup on the exact same map that we saw earlier on today. And I believe it was the Rus that won. I think it was B. B playing as the Rus on this map up against Magic, playing as the Chinese. So B played it phenomenally. So we're gonna have to see if ZertoN can look to do the same here with the Rus. I think it is favored for the Rus. So you know, hopefully he can try and win this set here. But obviously Numudan, he's seed number 16. He's the one that was looking, you know, he came into this probably not expecting to go as far as he did. Let's take a quick look at that league table, because at the moment he's sitting pretty high up there when it comes to, you know, for seed number 16, currently sitting at number 12. It's not terrible, right? You're above some big names, you know. You're above Magic, you're above Lenok, you're above ZertoN.
Yeah, unfortunately for Cat, right? Not doing too hot, you know, doing what reverse of what Marine Lord fans were hoping for. So kind of just rough, but you're still number 16, right? But Numudan as well, right? Again, number 12, not the best of records, but still super strong.
Having a look at this though, have a look at Marine Lord. He lost a set. Oh my goodness, who's he played up against? We need to take a quick look at the weekend schedule. Marine Lord has lost his first set of the tournament. And it must have been Vortex, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Vortex, he's on fire. Where's he at in the league table? So Marine Lord lost a set versus Vortex. Oh my goodness, Vortex, he's currently sitting at number 5. He's looking pretty strong up there as well. And taking a set off Marine Lord. Wow.
Yeah, I usually don't like nagging for people, but Petito, when's the game getting uploaded to YouTube? Because I need to watch that one.
Yeah, exactly. I need to watch that. That is crazy. I mean, Vortex obviously is a phenomenal player, but Marine Lord, he hasn't lost a single set this tournament up until now. So pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Again, we talked a little bit about how important every single game is, right? And now that Marine Lord has lost a single set, you can now see the head-to-head score on the leaderboard there: 19-4, 18-3, 18-4. So it's just a single game between all of these players that actually differentiate between all of them. But moving in, it is high view. It is Roos's favorite map with all of the wood lines you can imagine, all of the wood everywhere. It's something, we saw in early season 1, early season 2. It's kind of come back now full circle again with 2 towns interplay really starting to, to shine through again. And especially with the Kremlin. Hopefully we'll have something a little bit different than we had in the Ruse game, Ruse Chinese game that B and Magic played, where just immaculate play by B. If you get the chance, go back and watch that game. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a good game. We're gonna have to see how many TCs Numudan looks to build here, because I think that was the issue for Magic, right? He went for 3 TCs, didn't have any food. He needed to invest into farms. He's just spending everything on his economy. So, it's the sort of thing where, if you can hold on for another 5 minutes, then he's in a great position. 3 TCs, farm transition, great. But can you hold on for 5 minutes? And that's what B played really well. He went for the forwards Wooden Fortress. That really helps out. And then started, with the forward production as well. It was crazy. He just put on full pressure onto Magic, and it worked out really well for him.
Yeah, like that was the thing as well, right? On high view, he, Magic got kind of honestly just screwed by map gen. We'll see how that changes for Numudan this game. Of course, we can't see that just yet, as the observer delay slowly but surely ticking on the counter there. But I'll have to see, right? We will very quickly actually see the deviation we saw from that game too, because we talked about it that game, and we'll talk about it a little bit now. 2 scouts for Chinese feels very rough by not going that Imperial official.
Yeah. So ZertoN here. Just trying to think, are we going to be seeing another 2 scouts out of Numudan? Because last set that didn't work out too well for Magic. So maybe we don't see 2 scouts, because like I said, it's rare that we see 2 scouts from the Chinese. It's usually just the one, just because of their early build is so important to get correct. You don't want to be messing up with that Imperial official. So we'll have to see. And it's hard to deny away a lot of bounty from the Ruse, especially on high view. The extra wolves, it's so easy to get tier 2 bounty for the Ruse.
Yeah, and I want to highlight a little bit more of the opening with 2 scouts, right? Because oftentimes when you go with the Imperial official, the mill, dropping off the wood on the mill, that's being supervised to then get 72 wood, you're kind of just messing up that build on purpose, it feels like, when going 2 scouts, because you don't get that extra wood drop off.
Yeah, and that means you have to start chopping wood, then your gold's delayed, your food's delayed, then you can't get up your Barbican. It's just a whole knock-on effect. So we'll have to see what Numudan can look to do here. Obviously, denying, if you can deny tier 2 bounty away from the Rus, then I would say it's worth it.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that on a
It's
map like
Highview.
Highview. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so for the people that, probably don't stare at maps as much as I do, don't do that. Where most wolves spawn actually on this map is actually around the sacred sites. So if you're able to actually take the sacred sites early and, just take the wolves that's there, then you could potentially look, but it's still a really, really close call to deny that tier 2 bounty.
But
Take us
welcome
into the game, Merlin.
to the third and final game in this best of 3 between ZertoN and Numudan. It's currently match point between these two. We're on the map Highview, and ZertoN's going to be spawning in here on the left-hand side of the map, playing as the Rus, going with the fast hunting cabin build here into probably double scouts we'll see from him. And on the other side, we've got Numudan playing as the Chinese, not going to be going for the double scout opening like we saw in the last set, which Magic looked to do. Definitely makes sense here, as you don't want to be delaying your Imperial official.
He was thinking about it. But he's not gonna. So, again, we're just gonna get bog standard Chinese here. We're gonna get new age Rus, I want to say, with the hunting cabin opening and getting 3 scouts. So, ZertoN's gonna be very happy just claiming up as much bounty as possible here. Numudan is gonna try his best, but he's not gonna be too successful, I want to say.
I mean, he's not done a bad job so far, denying away 2 deer patches. He's also going to be able to find some wolves here. Again, it's so hard, though, for any civilization to deny away tier 2 from the Rus on this map.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to see how it does for him. You always want to try and deny it away as much as you can, though. Obviously, taking out 2 deer patches here is going to be nice for him. Because it's a sort of thing where you can't just let the Rus take all the bounty, because then you're starting to get to that stage where the Rus could possibly go for a tier 3 with the boars.
Yeah. And, just moving over and thinking about the map spawn a little bit, look at how forward and open ZertoN's base is in this case. It's a good spot there potentially for a high trade house, though, between those 3 and 2 wood lines. Could potentially be looking to do that. The same can also be said for Numudan. He's very front heavy, I want to say, or front less heavy. It's very open. Oftentimes you do like to see when you have 2 wood lines like you have here for Numudan, those 2 be on the front side, so you're very safe in that term. But we'll have to see where that Barbican could potentially be dropped. I'm looking very much at that deer pack and that gold on the front side, though.
ZertoN's going to be dropping down his Kremlin now, next to the berry patch here. Going to be... It's not as forward as I thought it may have been, but I guess he wants the Kremlin radius to touch the lumber camp over here. So that's probably why he's not directly on this gold vein. So I like this out of ZertoN. Good position. We see Barbican going to be coming down here for Numudan on top of this deer pack. Interesting placement there. I guess he needs the food, right? He doesn't want to make the same mistake that Magic made. He had no food control. So I like this placement here. Maybe a little bit better in the stealth forest as Numudan. He's going to find it hard to see through this. Yeah,
so, it's worth noting as well, right? He's going Barbican first, which you often don't see. You often see the Imperial Academy get a second Imperial official as soon as possible, but also get more bounty. Same's not going to be said here, though, right? Because ZertoN, he has 3 scouts, and we have seen Lucifron, especially in team games in the REL, actually going for professional scouts with Rus.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe that is a possibility here for ZertoN. But I mean, I like the Barbican either way, right? Because Rus are known for opening up with a knight as well. So getting down this Barbican nice and early, even the militia, ZertoN could be calling militia in right now, and this Barbican, it's going to be here to protect your gold, protect your deer, so it's a good landmark, regardless of professional scouts, which, definitely could be a possibility.
For sure. And again, right, for the longest time it was just being built by 1 villager, but it's now going to be pumped up to 2 villagers. and he has more to call in case there was some moving out. And there you can see the Imperial Academy as well being dropped. So a nice and early Song Dynasty here. Quite like it.
Yeah, 3 villagers going to be on that landmark right there. No villagers moving out for stone quite yet, though, which is interesting. It's kind of a vulnerable position, though, because as we already see, ZertoN has his first knight coming out. So it's going to be tricky to defend this position, especially as there's no Barbican on there.
Yeah, for sure, right? It's no 2 town center just yet for the Chinese. Could potentially look to go for it, but again, right, it's super forward exposed. Wheelbarrow coming through for certain as well. But the good thing is he has a lot of food saved for the time being.
Is that scout doing damage onto... No, it looked like the scout was doing damage there for a second while it was moving.
It's probably just a Kremlin. But that Kremlin could be joined by a second town center for the time being. Could be... Where does he drop that one, though?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's got to be over here, right? Next to the ball.
Yeah. We said that last Highview game, and then it was basically on the completely opposite side. So, but again, right, it makes a lot of sense to put it out here. You get the boar as the ruse. You have 2 knights, so you're able to put some pressure on the Chinese, keep them in their base for the time being. No military production for Numudan, and as I say that, there's the barracks producing some spears.
Yeah, there it is. This knight is going to be running in there. Not going to be finding any kills, not even any damage. Just going to be taking some hits itself. But back to the TC dilemma for ZertoN here. Yeah, it is going to be down to this. Yeah, because here it's not the greatest of spaces, right? You're not exactly getting much map control. It's sure you got some deer, but that's pretty much it. And now Numudan, it looks like he's going to be supervising up that barracks. Wants to get out as many spears as he possibly can here to try and defend from the knights. As ZertoN, he's looking for that boar.
I still think he's looking.
I don't think you can spot it. There we
He
go.
has to be. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be, it's still going to be fine with the second town center. He's just going to be doing as much damage as possible right now to Numudan to delay his second town center. He has the Imperial official out here to, at least boost a little bit of the stone gather rate, but has to be careful now. Some militia could surround it.
Oh, he's going to be able to get out of there, but some good damage being put onto the Imperial official. A lot of idle time here as well. This is exactly what ZertoN needs. You see, he is down by a little bit in the villager count. That is due to the Song Dynasty coming through for Numudan. But this CC is going to be able to buy a lot of time here for ZertoN. He's going to be able to climb up a little bit. As we see here, the villagers, so many idols.
So many idols here, and basically nothing lost, right? The only thing that was lost was a couple of militia, and there goes the scout. Finally, something that wouldn't commit Sudoku gets taken out. So, again, right, Numudan, he's on Song Dynasty, so yeah, he's still producing villagers a little bit quickly here, but ZertoN could potentially be looking to catch up in villager count. He will be outrun yet again, but it's still looking solid, as he's definitely going 3 town centers behind all of this, in fact.
Yeah, where's he going to be dropping the third one, though? I feel like this dip... Oh, no, it is going to be the dip hack. There it is. I mean, it's not the... I don't know. You're not exactly getting a lot from this town center placement, apart from the fact, it's acting like a drop-off building. I think it may have been better a little bit forward. Maybe even just, on the gold here. Defends the gold, and you can just go out here and drop a hunting cabin down on the deer. But this is what he's going to be doing for,
Yeah,
it still works.
I mean, next to the gold and next to the berries, right? Potentially the best position you could have had it. Numudan will be having enough stone at least, so no, he does have enough actually to drop that town center. He's going to be dropping it out with the Barbican, in fact.
Interesting.
Odd position.
Yeah. I mean, there's not that many resources over here. I guess, you get the gold and the deer, and we can see he's actually going to be dropping a mill down on this to supervise it up with that Imperial official. But Numudan needs to be careful here. Loses the first villager of the game.
Quick hit and run. So you know, it's these small things. Remember now, the Chinese is on 2.66 town centers, while the Rus is on that flat 3. So able to build up this villager number now will be taking over at some point, especially if you're getting more and more of these raids and just rocking that charge, and it will be closed off. So Numudan will be safe a little bit longer.
Yeah, so I like this choice here to wall this up. Definitely smart. You want to try and just focus everything here to the front of the base where, you know, it's hard for ZertoN to come around to the left side. We've got a big Barbican here. We've got a TC in the way. And, okay, we had a bit of a cancellation there because we got another barracks coming down as well as a blacksmith. Do you think this could possibly be in preparation for Palace Guard? Because
I mean, it does both, right? It does allow you to go up into castle both safely, and it is the preparation to palace guards, as you're saying.
because he's stacking up a lot of resources. He's not trading any more units.
Yeah,
He's heavily on the gold. He's gathering tax. I think that could be the case. You know, ZertoN's looking for the age up as well. He's stacking up a lot of food, a lot of gold. And, you know, we talked about this earlier. He's got a great spot here for a high trade house.
Yeah, needs to not chop into it, though. Could potentially be hurting his gold income just a little bit. Should not be too much of a worry, though. We do, as you said, right, Chinese and Rus both going castle right now. Do have a couple of archers there as well, looking to see if they can do some damage on a couple of villagers. Could be taking a tower up with him.
Looks like Numudan, he's run out of berries. He's still got plenty of deer available to him. Let's take a look at his vision. You know, the Barbican does provide some good vision here. And there we see the age up coming through. Astronomical clock tower. It's going to be Palace Guard. It's going to be a nest of bee, I'm sure, that we'll be seeing out of him. ZertoN on the other side, it's got to be here, right? If he doesn't place it here, I will be amazed. Well, we said that about B's game. So.
1. Place. There we go. So,
Nice.
Get your bet into the chat. I will be personally rewarding you with a surprise gift.
What is going on here for Numudan? What is this wall?
I would say it's probably just
What are these walls?
I would say it's probably just better, just, you know, just wall into the edge of the wall, but...
Yeah, it's kind of odd. Makes me think he's going to be going for some trade.
No.
No, trade here would be absolutely ridiculous out of Numudan.
Bo3.
But let's get predictions in for the high trade house. I think this is going to be a pretty good one. Do we know what bounty ZertoN's on? I would assume it's
He's on
tier
tier
2.
2.
Okay, so I think this is going to be 203.
$181.
181, okay.
We're getting oddly specific here.
Yeah.
But Numudan is getting oddly weird walls out here. I mean, at least some of them are straight. He's going to be moving out to the berries, and he's not moving into a farm transition just yet, despite having a pretty decent spot in back here for a couple of granaries. He is walled up, so he is safe.
It looks like he's not going into Palace Guard. It's just going to be more spears as well as the veterancy upgrade. And it's going to be Nest of Bees. Yeah, Nest of Bees is going to be coming through from him from that astronomical clock tower as the age up is about to come through now for ZertoN. Let's see. 282. Okay, this landmark I'm sure just pulls out a random number. I don't know. That's a good number though. Very good number.
That's a really good number, and that is why you don't go the Abbey of Trinity anymore. So, Mayor Room Temp, you win absolutely nothing. Congratulations. You win my love and affection. That doesn't honestly mean a lot, but hey, still get it. ZertoN's going to be getting a couple of villager kills here and a lot of idle time. Nestapis has joined the field though. The issue for me is the fact that it probably won't be doing a whole lot of damage.
He's certainly looking to go Imperial Age. No, he's not. He's queued up more knights now. He's flooding up a lot of resources for a second there. As we see, he has down his monastery as well. Going to be queuing up some of those warrior monks. And yeah, this is what's so strong about the high trade house, right? How many relics is that worth? That's like 4 relics. No, that's not 4 relics. It's like 3? 3? No, 4. It's 4. Around 4.
So, no, 4 would be 320, but sure. Again, right? Okay, it's 3.5. But again, right? It's just this sudden influx of gold, right? You need to somewhat rebalance your economy, and Numudan is trying to get up more and more walls to lock himself in a little bit. He has 2 deer, he has a berry bush, and he has a stone behind all of this, so he could potentially be looking to get up with the castle. Nest of beasts, though, he's gonna be getting a couple of shots off.
Numudan's still looking in a good position here. I love his walls. Have a look at all of these walls that he's getting up in ZertoN. Look at this. He's going for a wooden fortress. Chinese build speed does mean he will be able to get the walls up a little bit faster, so I think he will get the walls through before this tower goes up. Oh, what are the walls? I don't understand the walls this game. What is up with these players and walling?
Hey,
what does this do?
Come chop through. I don't know, I'm feeling like it's an invitation to chop through on all of these guys, but I don't know. So, I mean, I understand the wall that ZertoN is putting up here. It's gonna be
Looks like
getting off a charge. I was about to say, but that did not happen. But at least it's gonna be, you know, he's gonna be walling in 1 sacred set and 1 gold. Again, the issue is that chop through. I was memeing about it a little bit, but it is a real possibility for Numudan to do.
I guess, but maybe. We see Numudan. He's going to be expanding out more with the walls. Not going to be letting the knight through. There we go. Manages to push that one out. But ZertoN, he's starting to split up quite a mass here. We see he's up to a lovely 13 knights, 17 archers. Numudan, on the other hand, he's just massing up pure spearmen, pure Nesta B. He's up to 3. 4th one now in the queue. So ZertoN, I'm sure, has Springalds of the sort on the way, as we do see now. There it is. Double Siege Workshop getting dropped down. He understands he needs some anti-siege here. Up against 4 Nesta Bs, you know, that's the sort of point where Nesta Bs start killing knights. Which shouldn't be a thing, but it is.
It is. I mean, it's also the fact that it's like, these are, remember, these are clockwork Nest of Beasts as well, so they need 3 Springold shots instead of 2. The ruse does lower their siege, but they're not Imperial yet, so can't really get that siege number out.
Yeah, I mean, Imperial Ages, I don't think it's going to be coming through yet from players. ZertoN's grabbing a lot of his upgrades now, especially when it comes to his Blacksmith. Iron Undermesh going to be one of those. Archers going to be making their way to the front here. Numudan trying to keep this wall alive, but Archers make their way here, so yeah, they're going to be going down. Textiles is through, so shouldn't be losing too many here. Only losing the 2. Knight trying to break through on the right-hand side.
Numudan needs to be careful there as well on the south side of his base, right? He needs to be careful not to actually chop through and, you know, just break open his own walls. Same can be said at the position you're highlighting, but he is through here. He's able to, you know, to tear off the bears for the time being. Hasn't really started on those deers just yet.
Yeah, we see Nesta Bees actually coming out from Numudan, as well as a few crossbows, so starting to add in a few more units. Walolo going to be going off. Where is it? There it is. Okay, I think this is just one of those things where ZertoN's looking to just distract Numudan. Just, you know, click that button. It's one button. It forces your opponent to look over here. You know, what's going on? Am I being Waloloed? So, smart from ZertoN.
It's just distraction, and it's also fun to do because the Walolo sound is just great.
Oh, yeah. It's been updated for Season 5, and it sounds awesome.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it sounds really, really good now. Like,
so much
better.
But...
yeah, better than it sounds now. And it's kind of random. I'm not exactly sure why they've decided to update it at this point, but you know, they've decided to do that. So
why not? But ZertoN is also probably thinking why not, as he is looking to go Imperial.
Is he looking for a sacred victory?
No.
What? Yeah, but the walls. No, you don't think the walls. As he moves in with the warrior scout onto the sacred site.
I mean, again, right? It's the same as the Delhi we talked about earlier. It's just a timer. You don't really care about it. It's just a little bit of extra gold.
Sure.
That he definitely needs right now if he wants to be going castle. Look at his macro. It's a little bit all over the charts right now. You know,
yes.
Putting a lot of food, but
struggling a little bit on
all
gold.
of that. Yeah, despite all that, I mean, if it does go up to Imperial, right? Remember, it is the Roost that can just start spamming out a couple of rams. Something that would be very hard for Numudan to actually defend. Oh wait, it's the Chinese with Nest of Bees.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think it's a good idea going Imperial. I don't know, maybe not. I think ZertoN is thinking about it. He wants to try and grab the well, what's the upgrade? I've forgotten the name. It's the extra range on Springalds from the High Armory. I don't know if you remember that.
Rolling Shirt Figures.
That's the one from the... That's the one every civilization can grab.
That is correct, yes. But look at the Nest of Bees, though, trying to see if they could get off a shot. But Knights now... Seeing if they can get some free reign onto the granary farms and the rice fields off the Chinese. They're looking to run and splitting his army. Some of them is going to be distracted by a couple of spares, but on the backside, every single food villager is just running and seeing if they can find something, seeing if they can bring back some rice to their families, but they're not able to. More and more items. Keep now coming up. Nest of Bees, not even getting a single kill. But the keep is going to be going up in the middle of the base, and High Armory coming through here for ZertoN.
I've got to say, ZertoN's looking in a great spot right now. He's going to Imperial Age. He's got a great army. Have a look at that army value. And also behind this, he's on 3 sacred sites with 8 minutes 42 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and Numudan tried to get through to the wall here on the sacred site. He was just not able to. Just simply because, well, it is roost walls. At least it's not stone walls. But he has 6 Springalds, and all of these guys will be immediately upgraded. Keep coming up on the front side here. So the plan for ZertoN right now: go up to Imperial, get rams, starve Numudan off of gold.
Yeah, I like this a lot. ZertoN going to be denying away a huge amount of gold. That's 12,000 gold denied away here. Huge amount. And at the same time, ZertoN, you know, he's got a crazy gold economy right now. He's got 4 relics in the bank. He's got 3 sacred sites. He's got plenty of gold access to him. And now he's also chopping some, mining some more stone for yet another keep. Numudan, he's starting to add in some clock tower Springalds, but they're going to be no match for the Springald of the Roost here. Let's have a look, see if he's got the upgrades. So he hasn't clicked either of the upgrades yet. Banded Arms is the upgrade unique for the Roost here, for their Springalds. Kind of surprised by that one. It's usually upgrades that we see prioritized. There we do see roller shutter triggers coming in. I'm sure Banded Arms will be coming through very shortly as well.
So again, right, if we have a quick look at the gold that is Numudan's starting gold, it's slowly but surely running out. And where does it go from that? His next gold, which is all the way on the sacred side, is walled in. The 2 other ones are just a keep away. But not going to be too happy with that trade. Springalds is going to be taking out archers as well under a little bit of pressure. Spears and pulse darts are doing quick work of these. Nest of Bees trying their best to get in. They're going to be taking a shot. But it's barely going to get a couple of kills. Not going to be onto those Springalds, who will be firing back and taking out one with them.
This is crazy. Have a look at this. This is the second game I've seen this weekend with elite archers coming out from the Roost. Is the Age of Archer here?
Yay.
I think it is, because I have never seen this many archers being made from all civilizations. I mean, obviously, the Chinese are probably one of those archers, or probably one of those civilizations that aren't going to be making archers. Just
I swear, I see elite archers from the Chinese. Yeah. You know, the game has gone pretty south. But again, right, we do have Numudan is looking pretty solid, but ZertoN as well looking very, very happy right now. Siege is slowly but surely building for him. Not too much infantry. The Chinese has a lot of palace guards, has a lot of spears, so they could potentially look to get something. Yeah, it's weird.
It's so fancy. I've never seen such a fancy archer in my life.
Now Treb's gonna be start hitting on to the Chinese keep. See what they can do to get open this base, and again, right, gold.
No wall. No wall. ZertoN's going to come through here with the elite knights. Numudan, he's looking towards that age up now. He's floating a ton of gold. But it looks like the knights, I mean, they can get through here. I'm surprised we haven't had some quick walls coming through as Numudan. He's going to be reacting here with his army, but this is a perfect opportunity for ZertoN to push on the left-hand side here.
Yeah, and ZertoN is 200 prop now, so he can start really thinking about what he wants to do now, be picky. I'm surprised there hasn't been any Streltsy, but it's probably because they're just so bad against the Nest of Bees that is available for Numudan, right? You don't want to be throwing them away, but now look at that stone wall. That indicates to me that that is going to be the spot of a great wall gate.
It is, and there it is. I guess this is a decent position, you know, you're going to be able to defend up a lot of your production here, especially the farms. I think that's mainly what Numudan is looking to do here with that Great Wall Gatehouse. But a lot of his base is still in front of this gatehouse. And I mean, ZertoN, he's got 2 trebuchets out. A lot of this is starting to get taken down. And if ZertoN realizes this, which I'm sure he does, I'm surprised he hasn't dived underneath that gatehouse.
Yeah, you probably should, honestly, right? Because it will go up, and once it goes up, it's extremely hard to actually take out again, because you need traps. Bombards take damage from it. It's not long enough range, and the same can be said for rams. It's just so quickly dissipated. So now that this has gone up, it does give Numudan access to some hand cannoneers. Could be a good answer into ZertoN here.
Yeah, Numudan's got plenty of gold in the bank for the time being. In saying that, though, he's got no more villagers on it. So whatever he's got in the bank here, it needs to be spent wisely, because he has no more gold access. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I was about to say, an Imperial Palace is not spent wisely.
Well, he is. He's going for it. Where's he placing it? It's back here. What is going on here? Is he looking to do raiding? Oh, he's going for the farms. He's going for a keep drop here.
He's going for the keep drop. He doesn't have enough stone for a keep drop though, unless he's already blueprinted it. But I think by looking at the minimap, okay, Numudan,
no.
I like it. I like this.
Oh my goodness! Look at this.
I like it. I like it.
But it's next to ZertoN's TC. He's gonna spot this one out.
Of course it's gonna be. But now look at it. 3 minutes remaining on that sacred side timer, and now Numudan is holding pretty well in his own base. The issue is moving out, which is where the real threat is. Rams and archers doing quick damage, and we'll have to see where they can get in on the action.
We see here ZertoN, you know, he's already spotted this one out. 2 knights down here. It's going to be enough to take this one out. Unfortunately for Numudan, he's going to have to relocate with some of these villagers. And we see this sacred site victory. It's still ticking away. Only 2.5 minutes.
So the placements of those siege workshops actually brings into question to me, did Numudan not know about that town center?
I don't think he did. And with that, GG's going to get called. Numudan going to be tapping out, which means ZertoN is going to be winning this set 2-1.
2-1 for ZertoN in this set, and once again we see the ruse here being played great into the Chinese onto high view, so really showing the strong high trade house, just showing off that gold and just showing how much gold you can just get from that. And Numudan and ZertoN having to battle it out here, but that does mean, I think that means ZertoN now moves up 1 position on the leaderboard. I think maybe even 2. But still, though, Numudan shouldn't beat himself after this game. It was a really strong series, definitely looking really, really good in that second game as the French, but is not able to hold it against the Rus.
Yeah, I mean, he did an amazing job there taking game off ZertoN. Definitely something to be proud of. And, you know, this game was relatively close as well. Unfortunately, you know, ZertoN just... He played extremely well. He knew exactly what he needed to do. So, well played by both players there, but ZertoN is going to be taking it 2-1.